Yannick Sinner. If you're sorry if you're recording it and you haven't watched it yet, maybe I shouldn't say anything. Nah, I think I'll hold off on that. Might have just given it away. Look, guys, hope you've had a great day so far. I got lucky this morning with a good workout on the grass course before the rain came and just made it a little bit too slippery out there. But had a good gusher in terms of working out for, I don't know, hour plus, maybe 75 minutes. Played a lot of points this morning, and yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. Look, quick message today on the tennis mindset project, and it's I think too often what happens, especially if you're playing tournaments, and you go out or whatever happened yesterday. You played a great match yesterday. You just played a great match, and everything went well. And you show up today to play today's match, and you're thinking erroneously that whatever you did yesterday that went well is going to happen again today. Unfortunately, what you've got is you got a brand new you got a different opponent. You maybe have different conditions out there. Maybe it's a different time of the day, whatever it is. Maybe you didn't have a great night's sleep, which you did, so let's say the night before. So one thing that you've got to be careful of is that you don't bring that mindset to today's match, that whatever greatness happened yesterday is going to happen again today. Like, for example, let's say in the deuce court, for whatever reason, you were just serving lights out, taking the guy out wide, and you were getting some free points off of that. Maybe not aces, but returns weren't coming back, or you were getting short returns where you could really take advantage of the return. And so you go out there thinking that against a different guy today, the same thing is going to happen. Well, it doesn't take long before you discover that, number one, you don't have the same feel on that serve today that you did yesterday. And when you do get it out there, the guy kind of likes it a little bit more than the guy yesterday. And yet you're still looking for, hey, I just got to keep kind of force feeding that thing. Eventually it'll come. And it probably won't. The difference from match to match, and you can have a great day yesterday. And I used to think about that. I used to do that. I go, oh my God, I played out of my mind yesterday. Today's going to be the same thing. And yet today's opponent requires a different shot choice menu, right? And so what you've got to get into is you got to start thinking about your opponent. Today's match, yesterday you had the guy figured out. Maybe, you had the guy figured out yesterday. Today, it's a new day. You got to figure this different guy out. And so the first thing that we do is we've got to make sure that you're looking for, what is that new opponent today? What's their strength? Is it different than the guy yesterday? And it wouldn't be unusual if that was the case. And so you're going to have to adjust what went well yesterday to try to give this guy maybe a different diet of shots of something different, right? Let's find this guy's strength, number one. All right, we found it. We're going to stay away from that. Well, that helps because now that narrows shot choice down to something maybe different than what you were doing yesterday. And then is there a weakness over there that you can kind of pick on that was different from yesterday? And maybe it's not a shot stroke. Maybe it's not, not a stroke technique over there that's a weakness, but maybe it's movement, right? Maybe the guy today seems to move better side to side, but he doesn't move great up and back. Okay, then let's probe that. Let's go ahead and look for that. And so I really want to get inside your head that mindset wise, just because you figured out yesterday's opponent and you delivered a just great shot choices against that guy, and it felt like you were playing at the top of your level consistently, point after point after point, does not mean that today's opponent is going to give you the same kind of feeling, is not going to present the same kind of strengths versus weaknesses as the guy yesterday. So I think you know where I'm going with this is you got to be more tactical based on who that opponent is over there and not just how you felt yesterday. I know there are days when I've gone out there where, oh my God, man, my serve to that one spot felt great all day today. And then I go out tomorrow against a different guy. It's just not the same deal. So every match kind of brings a new challenge. And I'm not saying that the guy yesterday that you handled so well, that you'll have an opponent today that's very similar. Definitely that can happen, right? And maybe you'll drop into that same great feeling that you had yesterday against a similar style of opponent today. But you got to be smart enough to start figuring that this is not about, you got to get out of your head. You just got to get out of your head from day to day and start putting yourself over there and just figuring out what is his strength, what does he not really want you to give him, and probe and just kind of go from there. And the reason that you played so well yesterday is you had a limited number of shot choices, right? It wasn't like this guy was just great in everything. There was something you found. Maybe you found it earlier, or maybe you had some intel about this guy yesterday. You never played him before, but you had a buddy or two out there who said, "Well, look, this is what he does. This is what he does well. So stay away from that. This is not what he does well. So go work on that." And you came out there with intel, even though you never played this guy before, and you executed. Right today, you may have a guy that you don't know anything about, and no one else knows anything about this guy. Right, and so you got to probe, and maybe you start with yesterday's deal, but you can't continue to force feed yesterday's deal into today's match, just because you played well yesterday. And it may turn out that this guy today is just a different a different kind of animal that you got to deal with differently. So the top players, I think, really do less about having this one game that they just bring to bear against everybody, right? Especially as we get older, right? I mean, things are just different. We just lose some power on the serve. We lose power in the groundies, right? We lose a half a step as we age up. And so we can't continue to just force feed your plan A, whatever your game is, against everybody. Um, and the more you start to decide, well, I'm going to look over there and see what he's good at and what he's not good at. The more you do that, the more that shot choices become more and more narrow. And now, you know, it's you've got clarity of what you're going to do. So that's the message for today. Um, and you've heard this message from me before is, you know, the best players are the ones who figure out what their opponent is good at and what it is they don't want. And they avoid the stuff that guy's good at, and they just force feed a steady diet of what they don't want. And again, it might be to a certain stroke, but it might be a shot pattern. It could be, hey, where I'm going deep here for one, and then I'm going to go ahead and disguise it and play it short. Maybe the guy does not like running up and back. Maybe he doesn't like, hell, I got to the drop shot, but now when you lob over his backhand, it's that up and back running that he doesn't like. And you find that the guy played great for the first set, but after that, he's out of gas. All right. So you probed, you found out what he doesn't want. And this guy today is probably a whole lot different than the guy you played yesterday. All right, guys. Hope this has been helpful. Any comments, any remarks, any questions down below in the comments area, let me know. And if you want to keep the conversation private, no sweat. Just go ahead and shoot me an email, Brent@webtennis.com, and we can keep that private, and love to respond to your emails that way. That's it for me today. Like I said before, good early morning on the grass session today for about 75 minutes, but it's time to get in the gym and let's really crack a great sweat in there. Let's ramp it up. Let's get going, and let's continue the controllable fitness thing that that you got to have. You just got to have it, right? So, all right, that's it for me. Guys, thanks for hanging out. As always, we got to get out there. We got to help someone else have a great day. Guys, see you again next time.